Getting your merchant rep maxed out to 75 or even just trying to reach 50 to finally unlock Pirate Legends can sometimes feel like a tedious, slow crawl. But that changes today. I'm going to be showing you an insane strategy that I can promise will help you gain merchant levels faster than you ever have before. To do this, we're going to be taking advantage of a mechanic where you can pick up cargo from an outpost and then deliver it to one of 3 locations. Obviously, delivering a few cargo at a time is very slow, especially if you factor in how much time you'll be sailing around the seas just to get to these locations. But what if I told you you could sell tens of cargo at a time, or even hundreds? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Let me walk you through the process and share some insight on how to use the strategy as efficiently as possible. First things first, grab that merchant emissary flag so that you'll end up getting a ton of bonus rep once you get those grades up. Next, you'll want to get some cargo run voyages. I recommend doing this on a captain ship, as you can buy the voyages very fast and you can store up to 50 of them, and you will need a lot of them, trust me. However, if you don't have a captain ship, you can still do this, but you'll have to spend a lot more time running back and forth buying these voyages. Maybe asking a captain friend for help will be a good option. After you've bought as many captain cargo runs as you possibly can, you're going to want to place one down. The first one will always be for the outpost that you're currently at, and you'll usually have to either go to the merchant, the shipwright, or the tavern keeper. Go pick those up and bring them back to your ship. This brings us to the main part of how this strategy works. You'll then want to vote for another cargo voyage. This one and the next few will ask you to go pick up cargo from a different island, but we don't want this. The point of the strategy is to minimize sailing time and maximize selling time. So you'll want to cancel any voyage that asks you to go somewhere else and keep putting down new ones until you finally get one that's for the outpost that you're at. Then repeat the process. Pick up the cargo, organize it on your ship, and vote for voyages until you get another one. Using this strategy, you can stack up cargo for a very long time, up to hundreds of merchant cargo, if you have the will to do that, of course. But you do want to make sure that you can deliver all of the cargo on time, or you'll end up getting much less gold and reputation overall. I don't want to close out this video without sharing 4 helpful things that I've learned about this strategy from experience after doing this many times. Tip 1. Remember that these voyages can ask you to deliver cargo to up to 3 different locations. The best way I found to keep track of what goes where is to put cargo for different locations in different segments of the ship. This makes everything extremely easy to keep track of, especially if you're doing this with multiple people. Tip number 2. Another tip for organizing the cargo, especially since there'll be so much of it, is to put the bottles and silks on one side of the ship and all of the plants on the other. This will make it so that you can easily splash the plants with water to keep them alive without ever being worried that you might get the silks wet and ruining them. Tip number 3. I've found that doing this with 3 people is the most efficient. This will allow you to only need 2 people to vote for and vote cancel voyages, while you try and get another outpost voyage. In the meantime, the third person can work on bringing stuff onto the ship, organizing it, or watering the plants. Tip number 4. When you go to deliver the cargo, you want to make sure not to get the silks wet, but the bottles and plants can just be dropped in the water to get them off the ship as fast as possible. If you're sailing with a group, you can have one person finish delivering the cargo that was dropped in the water, while all the others sail to the next location for max efficiency.